My name is Cora Delta, and in my brief 23 years of living, I have lived in all kinds of geographic locations, and I have been very blessed to have encountered countless individuals. At times, when I would move, it would be in a situation where I would be excited to leave, and in other situations, it would actually be quite bittersweet. Most of the times I have moved, it actually has been quite bittersweet. Oftentimes, when I encounter so many people, I am bound to meet someone who catches my eye, or perhaps I catch their eye. Virtually every time that I would try dating apps, I would always be dissatisfied, so I have personally opted just to simply meet people organically. Unfortunately, though, I would meet people who often they're recently single, they were recently in a relationship, or I would meet these beautiful, amazing people just as I am about to move on to a new chapter in my life and a new location. And I recently listened to a podcast episode by Emma Chamberlain about breakups and what a healthy and thorough breakup is like. And so the other day I wrote this poem, or this passage, and it's titled "The Finality of a Breakup." A proper breakup, where let's say you've been dating someone for a year or 2 years, like a long time dating, I would say over 6 months. And when you finally break up with them, how should that be brought about? And I try and write in a way where it's emotional and you just feel the finality of it all. The finality of a breakup. I saw the sunset today. The grand pinks and oranges and purples amongst the clouds and the mountains of Arizona. I knew I would never see you again, and if we did, we would be changed people. We wouldn't have what we once had because we simply aren't those people anymore. I wept and screamed at the sharpness of the finality of it all. What was once ecstatic is now sterile. I told myself, it's okay, Cora. It's okay to cry. You did so well, sweetie. You loved in the best way that you could. You gave it your all. I am so proud of you to put your heart out there after all you've been through. It's going to be okay. Wasn't it such a beautiful moment to meet someone that has had an impact on you and you had an impact on them? Where you can share your life with someone else and they can share it with you? At least a few moments, a few laughs, a few kisses. Take some time to reflect on what was beautiful, how you connected, what set your hearts ablaze. Also reflect on what you could have improved upon. How could you have become a better person? How can you become a better person now? What caused the schisms? What started the initial loss of communication? What set your hearts ablaze? Now feel the weight of the abandonment. Scream into the night wind. Notice your heart slowly turn to stone. Enjoy it. You get to slowly become whole again by your own welfare. It is part of the human experience. I would like to share that in the beginning of the new year, I started a new journal. And every time I start a new journal, it's very, very important for me because it's as if I start a new literal chapter in life. It's like I am literally writing my own story. And I would love to make a video about I have a lot of journals that I've written in. I'd like to make a video about my experience journaling over the past 8 years and how important it is for me to journal and how much it means to me as I notice every time I end a journal and start a new journal, it's as if I literally start a new chapter of life, both literally and figuratively. I've had countless crushes, but I've had very few actual relationships. I find that writing in an evocative way helps me heal from all the many heartbreaks I've gone through in my life. And I'd love to talk about my second composition called Yearnings. And here it is right here. But before I do, I actually want to get deeper into this poem and what I get from it. I saw the sunset today. The grand pinks and oranges and purples amongst the clouds in the mountains of Arizona. For me, the sunset is a sort of a spiritual ritual for me. I get my energy from the sun and the earth, but I feel like I'm always happiest when I have sunshine on my skin. I'm always happy whenever I have a little bit of sun on my skin, whether that's, for example, on my feet right now, or on my face, or on my hands, or a lot of times on my naked body. The pinks and the oranges and the purples amongst the clouds and the mountains of Arizona. I wrote this, I'm living in Arizona right now, and I feel like for those who have seen Arizona sunsets amongst the mountains, they know exactly how beautiful the sunsets are here, whether you live in Phoenix or Tucson or Sedona or Flagstaff or where have you in Arizona. I knew I would never see you again, and if we did, we would be changed people. I knew I would never see you again. The finality of it all. I would never see you again. And if we did, we would be changed people. I have a personal story, a bit of an embarrassing story, how I tried to reach out to my first love back in June of 2023 after, I would say, about 5 years of silence. And we spoke for about 40 minutes. She goes to school in San Diego, and I went to San Diego a couple weeks after for Father's Day weekend, and I tried reaching out to her, and essentially I was left in ignorance. There was no response from her end, and I kept reaching out to her again and again and again and again, and it wasn't until about mid-September I just realized that I felt like such a clown, because I thought that we could get back to something that happened so long ago. I had my bit of a Jay Gatsby moment where it's as if I was searching for the green light. I wept and screamed at the sharpness of the finality of it all. What was once ecstatic is now sterile. You think of the word ecstatic and you think of all the emotions and all the chemicals in your brain and the different excretions that come out of your body is now sterile. And when you think of sterile, you think of something like a doctor's office where it just smells like isopropyl alcohol and everything is monotonous and stale and in a way pure. With something that's sterile, it is sort of a clean slate. I told myself, it's okay, Cora, it's okay to cry. You did so well, sweetie. You loved in the best way that you could. And usually that's how it works out with these relationships, is that you love in the best way that you could with what you know. Every time I have encountered all these different people in my life, I would really put my heart out there every single time, and I usually wouldn't ever hold back. I usually try my best to just really give it my all, especially from ages 12 to 23 now. I mean, anything truly serious doesn't start till until more 20s, when you're actually more mature. I would say after college is when you're actually more mature enough to be a real adult and start having like actual serious relationships. Take some time to reflect on what was beautiful, how you connected, what set your hearts ablaze. There's this phrase, and it goes, people remember the roses but not the thorns. You broke up with someone for a reason. Sure, there was those thorns. And there was also the roses. So I purposefully started out, what was beautiful, what set your hearts ablaze? And then I said, what could have been improved upon? How could you have become a better person? Sure, maybe they could have become a better person, but you also could have been a better person. What set your hearts ablaze? What set your hearts ablaze? What caused the passion? Also with fire, what set your heart ablaze? What burnt it? What sort of destroyed the relationship? Now feel the weight of the abandonment. Literally just feel your heart ache. Feel it scream into the night wind. Notice your heart slowly turn to stone. Enjoy it. How ironic, I put the word in. Enjoy it. How could someone enjoy something so painful? Because you get to slowly become whole again by your own welfare. It is part of the human experience. I think that's what we come on earth to do. It's what makes us human, is we are here on this earth to feel and experience everything, every single thing. And so when you have a heart-to-heart conversation with someone, don't hold back. Just really say what you need to say. Don't be passive-aggressive about anything. If you have a conflict with someone, you go in head first and you really have that conversation. But you also have the intentions of saying, I really appreciate you and I love you and I want to work through this with you. If you really want to keep that relationship and make it work out. If not, then it has to be two-sided. To meet someone that has had an impact on you and you had an impact on. I would say what's healthy, and this is something that's actually really hard, is after, let's say you dated someone for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 7 years, and you break up and you make it final. Like you have that final conversation. You have that last conversation. You make sure that if someone's kind of being wishy-washy about, oh, this is why we're breaking up, you make sure that you get the answers you need. Because if you don't, it will eat you up and it will eat you up and it will eat you up for half a decade like it has for me. And you need to make sure you get those answers. Because I knew I would never see you again. And if you do want to reach back out to someone, this is from that podcast I listened to from Emma Chamberlain. She said 6 months to a year minimum. If you even want to. And that is it. That is it. I took inspiration from Poetry Unbound's reading of David Whyte's poem, Leaving the Island. And I thought it was so beautiful how there was an initial introduction, and then there was the poem reading, and then sort of a deep dive, and then there was rereading it again after all of it. And I'd like to say that I have published a poetry book of my own. I never actually thought that I would do something like this, but I just felt very compelled to over the past few months. And I would like to start off the year with this with this poem, Yearnings, Tetra, Composition 2. Composition 1 is still being made. That one will be longer than this one. Written for all the countless crushes that couldn't work out because they weren't ready. Published for the few I can count on my hand who leaned in for something beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.